Hugo Blues just tactically floor the Bafana team. When you are losing anywhere in the world, the likes of Morios, Guardiola, they will always throw in more attacking player, remove one of the centre backs or one of the defensive midfielders or remove one of the left back. But he did not do that. He still kept on changing players to replace the same position instead of twisting his tactics.
I think sincerely that it was a tactical error from Hugo Blues. I expected more from the South African side, but I think that is a tactical error.
Welcome back to EVO Sports. The AFCON is getting more interesting and interesting and interesting. The knockout stage have started and some teams are falling apart. But I'm going to start with some of the teams that have played. I'm starting with Senegal defeating Sudan by 3-1. Mali played out a 1-1 draw with Tunisia, but they eventually won on penalties. Morocco defeated Tanzania by 1-0, while South Africa lost to Cameroon by 1-2. This is not what we expected. But then we are going to talk much more about that South African game. I'm starting with Mr. Chima. He's a South African lover, South African faithful, Hugo Blues man, and the main lover of Mbokazi, Mbekezele Mbokazi. Chima, what do you make of that South African fallout?
It was so sad for South Africa. Hugo Blues let South Africa down somehow. Starting from that game, he has coached Cameroon before.
Yes.
Now, but I feel like, firstly, Hugo Blues affected this AFCON for Bafana from the preparation of this AFCON, the issues he was having with Mbokazi, talking about the transfers of Mbokazi, and then the statement he made about Mbokazi that went viral in South Africa, that if he enters my room like as a black man, he will come out as a white man. All of those things that even made that they wanted to report him to human rights authorities. But then again, I said it, that Hugo Blues is not supposed to be doing this kind of thing at this stage of the time, because he's supposed to shut down every distraction going to the AFCON. Now, coming into this game properly, let me start a bit by bit to give you a full analysis of these Bafana teams. Against Angola in the first match, Bafana started the game very well. Within the first 20 minutes, they attacked so well, although they got a goal through Apolis, 1-0, no problem. 15 minutes towards the ending of the first half, they conceded through set piece. Sure. Now, after that, they won the game. Now, coming into the second game against Egypt, they started well in the first 20 minutes. They played well. They could not score. They missed a lot of chances. Then Egypt, towards the 15 minutes of the first half, they conceded two set piece penalty. Salah scored. Now, coming to the third match against Zimbabwe, first 20 minutes, they played well. They scored. Then, towards the end of the first half again, they conceded through one-man show. So, which means before the game against Cameroon, South Africa, they possessed the ball very well. And I said that before, but because of individual brilliance, all the teams they have played against have utilized their chance, the little chances they got in their game against South Africa. They scored South Africa. At the end of the day, maybe they scrambled to win. So then, South Africa were being exposed tactically in the defense line because why? Ngezana and Modiba were one of the loopholes in that defense line in terms of defending aspect in those games. Now, when you come to the game against Cameroon, they played about 9 times before that game. South Africa have won 3 times. They drew 5 times. Then Cameroon won 1. Which that one was even a friendly game. Now, coming into that game against Cameroon, historically, South Africa have an edge, or they had an edge over Cameroon before that game. Now, when the game started, Hugo Blues played 7 defenders. How do I mean by 7 defenders? One, you started with Williams in the goalpost. Center backs, you played 3 center backs, Mbokazi, Sibisi, and Ngezana. Starting those 3 center backs against a Cameroonian team. Firstly, that has already shown that you were scared of the team. You were scared of the team somehow. Now, fine, Cameroonians coming to this tournament, they also had their issues. The Eto Samuel Eto fees, Coach Pegu, the Coach Pegu, the saga between the FA and the sports minister in Cameroon, Feka Foot, having those issues, submitting lists, putting on Anna, removing Abubakar, all of those things, yes. All of those things like that. So now, people were not really giving them so much chance to perform well. Even though I personally was not giving them, because I feel like they have been so distracted. But then again, when you have some classic players in your team, classic players sometimes, when your team are not doing well, or if your team can be able to manage with a little bit of luck on their side, those classic players can come to the party. They can rescue you. They might score in a game with little or fewer chances, and your defenders will defend, and then again, you win the game. So now, Cameroon have used that as an opportunity. The likes of Mbemo, Kofane, Magri, Baleba in the defense line,
in the
midfield, and then Nu at the defense line. They have used that to get to this stage. Now, against Cameroon, against South Africa, these guys knew already that they have nothing to lose already. Cameroonian, they know the record against South Africa, so they came all out to play the South Africa. But I knew already that the South Africans were going to possess the ball. Now, Hugo Bruce, the same mistake he made against Egypt, starting this 3 center back, not sticking to his formation or being scared too much. Then he came up with, then from the left back, he played Kabini in that left back, playing Mudau. Now, if they are attacking, Kabini climbs up to the outfield, Mudau climbs up to the outfield, then you have Mbukazi coming from the left side of the defense line, trying to play as a left wing back. That is when they attack you. Then while you have Ngezana coming from the right back to play. Now, Ngezana is not a defender that plays with the ball so much. Ngezana is a defender that struggles with the ball. It can only mark, but most times when you play the ball to his feet, he struggles with it so much. That is why building up play from the defense line, from Williams to the defense line, it was difficult for the South African. That is why Mbukazi usually play penetrating passes or up-front passes more than playing with the center back. Because if Ngezana was good or had been a player that can play with his foot so well, you will have seen more build-up play from the defense line. So when Mbukazi hold on to the ball, if he passes to Ngezana can easily lose the ball. And that was why he got a first yellow card he got in that game against Cameroon. So now, that affected them from the defense line. Only Mbukazi can make use of the ball very well from that defense line. Now, coming to the midfield, if Mbukazi cannot play to Mokoena or Obas, he will prefer to launch the ball far back, up front, rather than playing and settling down from the defense line. Now, you played Mokoena, you played Obas in that midfield, which means you are still more defensive conscious. That means 3 center backs, Mudau, Kabini, left back and right back, playing up front again, then play with 2 defensive midfielders. So you only played attacking. Now, starting the game again up front, you change your pattern. Muremi have been settling down in this game. From the first game, he came in the second half and did well. Second game, he started, he played well. Third game, he started, he scored, he played well. Now, you relegated Muremi to the bench. Now started Mofokeng. Now, you starting Mofokeng in that game. Physically, Mofokeng is not that strong physically. So he was at Mozud in that game total, because the Cameroonians have always been a team that has that ruggedity to play. So they can rugged anything, even if they don't possess the ball so well. But when they start any game against Cameroon, even if they are playing against Super Eagles, they always come physical. So that physicality, Foster does not have that physicality, does not have that presence. Mofokeng does not have that presence up from there. Only Apolis was a bit trying to use his body to control and to hold on to the ball, so which affected them up front. But then in the first 10 minutes, 7 minutes, Mofokeng had the chance. He ballooned the ball up. That would have been a very good goal. Kabini had his own chance. He ballooned the ball. But under 7 to 8 minutes, you could not score. By then, Cameroon were still struggling to contain the runs of the South Africans, because if you watch that time, Mokoena, maybe it was a tactics from the Hugo Bruce, which really worked at that moment, but just that they did not utilize the chances. All the long balls from Mokoena to up front, Kabini was running behind the defenders, Mofokeng was running, Apolis was running, Foster was running. They got their chances just like other matches they have been playing. But then the inability to convert those chances ruined that game, because sometimes you can score a goal at 1 minute of a game, and that one goal can even make you to win that match. Before the opponent will recover, you have already settled down in terms of defense. So South Africa did not make Cameroon to pay for that early mistake, but rather Cameroon now made South Africa to pay for their mistake. Now, I said it before this game that players like Kofane, then players like like Mbemo, we always make South Africa to pay for their mistake, and exactly what maybe because we have been complaining about Modiba. Maybe Hugo Bruce have watched our video and he saw me complain about Modiba, the way he used to match, the way he matched against Salah, the way he matched against Tasanda, that Zimbabwe player that got them those goals. So maybe decided to change it, but Kabini did not come in to help the matter as well too. So now Mudau, now from that right back, because Mudau was not playing as a right fullback, Mudau was playing as a wing back. They were using that position to attack Ngezana, because Ngezana is not good with his foot the way Mbokazi will play from that left back. So now coming to the midfield, Mokoena gave his all in that game. Obas also did well, but attacking wise, there was no attacking player. You played 5 defenders at the center back. You did not apply a player that could even support Mokoena to play attacking passes. You played only 2 defensive midfielders joining with 5 defensive. If you have to play this kind of tactics, this kind of formation, if you are playing 3 center back, that means the left back, the left wing back and the right wing back you are supposed to play should be more of attacking player, because you already have 3 center back that will cover the line for them, so that they can put in more pressure while they recover when they lose the ball. But no, you still played the same player. So then why not start Modiba if you know you are playing 3 center back to cover? Because Modiba have grown into the game and you already understand he's good in attacking sometimes, somehow, but you bench him. I don't know what went wrong with Hugo Bruce. He just decided to change the start out of fear. So along the line, as South Africa did not convert those chances at that first half, then boom, Cameroon got their chances. They converted it. Baleba, too much experience. He's a young boy. The competition he's always having in EPL came to play in that game, because a player who plays in the Premier League, who is good, who Manchester United want to sign for over £100 million, you can't tell me that guy will be in midfield and you just slack. No. So Mokoena gave him a run for his money truly, but that was not enough, because attacking wise, nobody was playing penetrating pass. Even in Bule, that's supposed to start, knowing well that this game is a physical game, did not start. So Hugo Blue just tactically floored the Bafana team. So, and by so doing that was why they lost that game. Now in the second half, you were losing about 50-something minutes. They scored you 2 goals. Now scoring you scored 2 goals, I was expecting you to immediately change your tactics. Either you remove a center back, maybe Ngezana or Sibisi, bring in Makopa on time. You were still waiting with the same pattern, knowing fully well that you are down 2 goals. What were you still defending? You were not defending anything. You still sat. You were the same thing against Egypt. You were still doing the same thing. You could not bring in attacking player. Now you wanted to make a chase up. You brought in what is it called? You brought in Makopa. You remove Apolis. Also, I think Apolis. Then you brought in Modiba. You remove Kabini, which means you are still playing the same tactics, the same 5 defenders. If you have brought in Makopa and remove one of the center back to join with Mofokeng and Apolis up front, that would have even added more numbers in the 18. And when Makopa joined Apolis joined the Foster up front, that was why they got that goal, because they were 2 strikers inside the 18 yard. So the center back did not know how to mark those, but before it was only Foster, so the defenders were finding it so easy to defend, to mark Foster. So when you are losing anywhere in the world, the likes of Morios, Gadula, they will always throw in more attacking player, remove one of the center backs or one of the defensive midfielders, or remove one of the left back, tell Mbokazi to cover from that side, you remove Kabini, and then you throw in attacking player. But he did not do that. He still kept on changing players to replace the same position instead of twisting his tactics. So Hugo Bruce, for me, he did not get it right. The sub he made around 82 minutes, bringing in what is it called, Muremi, and removing Sibisi Ngezana was the sub he should have made earlier.
No, removing Mofokeng.
No, he removed Mofokeng, brought in
Moremi.
No, when Moremi came in, he removed Ngezana. He removed Ngezana around 82 minutes and brought in Moremi there. By that time, that sub was late for me, and that was the right sub he should have done even earlier. If not, the players, South African player, they did well. They threw in everything in that game, but their coach let them down tactically.
Anyway, I would say that to me, my own opinion, Hugo Bruce approached that game with fear. You know, when you are playing a physical side like Cameroon, you need players like Sitole that is physical and Bule that is physical in that midfield to complement Mokoena. Then Moremi, that you relegated to the bench, was supposed to have started that game. Then you would have seen that. If he had played that way, that's my own opinion, I don't think Cameroon would have won that game. But then, Abat, what is your take in that South African loss to Cameroon?
Yes, thank you very much. It was a good game, but the game has in my own perspective, there are several branches to it, but let me just conjoin them. You see, Cameroon national team, the Indomitable Lions, have an history of a tradition of an all-powerful kind of approach to games. And don't forget, they have won the Nations Cup 5 times.
Yes.
These two teams have met before this match 9 times. Now they have met for 10 times. Now, Cameroon has won them twice. South Africa has won them thrice, and they have 5 draws. And don't forget, the only time they have met in AFCON was in 1996 in the group stage, in which South Africa won them 3-0, thanks to the goal from John Shoes Moshu, Mark Williams, and Phil Masinga. Yes, Phil Masinga. Now, the assistant coach to Hugo Bruce now, Elma Makalele, came in as a sub in that match, 1996. I can remember vividly as a young boy that is growing up. Now, the Cameroon side has won the Nations Cup 5 times. 1984, they beat Nigeria 3-1 in the final. 1988, they won Nigeria again 1-0, right? Ghana-Nigeria 2000, in which we co-hosted with Ghana. We played 2-2, and they won us 4-3 on penalties. Now, thereafter, in 2002, right, they drew 0-0 with Senegal, won Senegal on penalty. 2017, they won Egypt 2-1 in the final. Now, if you check the calibers of players that played for Cameroon, it's like a transgenerational kind of players. They like combative, all-powerful kind of football, makes it their tradition, their way of playing. And don't forget, the same Hugo Bruce, that is the coach of South Africa, was the coach of Cameroon. In 2017, they won it. Hence, he knows their style of play, in which he would have employed the best personnel in the pitch to execute his game. Now, let me hit to the game proper. You see, winning a football game, I think it has 4 exclusive indices: your formation, your tactic, the personnel you put in place in the field, and the techniques of the players on the pitch. Are you getting? Because players' techniques can be what is required for him to open up the defense line and give good passes. Now, Hugo Bruce has been playing with a set of players. Like Chimalaji pointed out, we were pointing out, Moremi was on the bench in the first game. When he came in as a sub, he performed a sterling performance. He came in as a first, he started the second game and the third game. Now, you come into a team, you play with a team like Cameroon in the knockout round. Now, you now brought in 4 injections that are not part of the first team you've been using, even in your qualifying series. You brought in Kabini, took Modiba to the bench, you brought in CBC, you brought in Ratomo, and you brought in Albers. Now, don't forget, these players, apart from
Mofokeng.
No, Mofokeng has been, if he's not playing, he may come in as a sub. Okay. I'm talking about players that barely plays, even coming in as a sub. These are the 4 players. Now, you brought in these 4 players in the team. Now, the only player that was not substituted among these 4 players injected is Albers, because his performance was out of earth. He was key. He was so instrumental. He was taking on the Cameroonians with all power he has, because the Cameroonians on the midfield were very, very powerful. So he still changed. He made a sub. He changed the Kabini. He changed CBC. And he as well changed Ratomo. These are the 3 players with Albers that he injected into the team. That is to say, there's a technical flaws in what he just did. That is to say, he never had trust on the players that have been playing. Hence, you think he can apply another tactics, another game plan that will outwit the Cameroonian side. Yes, if they have won, we would have credited Hugo Bruce. Now he has lost. We are looking at his flaws. So to speak, he's an experienced coach. I always say that every coach knows his players, and every coach knows when to field his player depending on the kind of opponent he has. Now he has applied this, he has put in these players, give them the match formation, they have gone into the pitch, and they had already lost. But if you look at the game very well, you realize that Hugo Bruce play a 4-3-3 formation, which is very, very rare for him to play. He plays a 4-2-3-1 kind of formation. Now, the Cameroonian side on that side play a direct opposite, 3-4-3. Now, they play that 3-4-3 because they have the energy. They are so combative. That's why they play that formation and could curtail the mesmerizing skills and the quickness, the good footworks of the South African side. They kept them in check. The Baleba on the midfield curtailed the South African game in the midfield. The Kofani on the attack was a problem. Are you getting it? What's his name? Toho or something like that in the midfield. They held the South African sway. Now look at how the goals even came in. Are you getting it? Now, the only person that was actually running that line for the South African side was the Mudau, because the guy is tireless and restless. But if you check the Cameroonian very well, they were recovering anytime they lose the ball at the other side of the arc of the center line. The way they recover is as if they lost something in which they have to collect immediately. They run back. It shows how fit, how powerful they are. Ordinarily, you would have looked at the issues they have, the Eto issue, the Fekafoot issue, and I think it's going to take a toll on them. We never look at it from that perspective, but we never knew that they are coming out personally to create a name for themselves, knowing fully well that South Africa have an edge over them, looking at the games they have played in between themselves. So I think sincerely that it was a tactical error from Hugo Broos. I keep saying, no matter your level of professionalism or expertise, you are not perfect. You are limited to as a human being. Are you getting it? So when you apply a particular formation, you succeed. People give praise on you. But if you don't succeed, people will go ahead and criticize you. It's just for you to make adjustment or grow in experience in that regard. When he brought in Modiba, the flow started. Because Modiba is creative. On that left full back, you may say because of his age, he do not have enough strength again to mark and to push again. But you must still understand that he's a delicate player when he holds the ball, joining the attack. He was the one that brought the lower ball in that Mofo can tap into the 18. And the game at that point, about 12-13 minutes to go, it took a different swipe, a different dynamics, but they couldn't convert their chances and all of that. Now, if you look at the Kofani, the striker of the Cameroonian side, the guy is young, the guy is strong, he has speed. Now look at Mbumu. Mboma is technically gifted. He's strong as well, he has speed. And that's one thing that's why Cameroon has suffered Nigeria so many times. Because they don't only have, most times the Cameroonian players are not particularly people that have skills. They have strength. They are disciplined. I get what I'm trying to say. They have the ability to mark and recover and to try their possible best to convert. They have all the strikers Cameroons have produced are business-like footballers. From the time of Rojamila, named them, from the time of Patrick Mboma, Umambi, the Samuel Eto'o, the Kofane we see now, and all of that. Even even this guy that was not that was dropped by Samuel Eto'o, Vincent Abubakar. These are people that are business-like strikers. If you look, Kofane headed about 3 balls wide because of his pace. When you go, Mboma will just take the ball, run the defense line with the ball, and bring the ball in. And even the goal is scored, Kofane. If you see the speed, it was taken from the center circle to the 18-yard box. The ball beat the center defender, and he nodded it inside the 18-yard box, inside the goal post. But you see, when a coach in every tournament, you are faced by a different enemy. When you win this match, you're going to face the next enemy until you win the final tournament. If destiny or posterity works out with you through your game plans or the people you feel on the field. But you see, coming into that game, I expected much from the South African side. A compacted team that have been playing as a unit for a long time, having history over Cameroon by the matches they have played. 5 draws. Before the game, it was 3 wins to 1. Now it's 3 wins to 2. Are you getting it? But ironically, the only game they have met in the Nations Cup, I think it was in 1996, in which South Africa won 3-0. So in a highly competitive match, it is only once they have met themselves. So now it's 1-1 apiece. AFCON, they won Cameroon 3-0 96. Now Cameroon have won them 2-1 in this encounter. Now it's a nice one, but it's always good to know that off the pitch and on the pitch are 2 different antics. Though the Cameroonian side may be having issues outside, Fekafoot, but we don't know what Eto'o have actually sided them with, what he has told them.
Because it was even
he was on the stand. He was even playing with them on the stand because his body was reacting to every action that was happening. I expected more from the South African side, but I think that is a tactical error. It's a very big tactical error from Hugo Broos because, as a matter of fact, you don't change a winning side with 4 players. 4 players are too much. It's too much. You can't bring in Kabini, Ratomo, CBC, and Albas at the same time for a team that you've not been playing them. Even in your qualifiers to the World Cup and Nations Cup, you were not using them. But now in a Nations Cup knockout stage, you bring in the 4 of them. I don't think it's right. And I think, to me, in my perspective, I think he's going to regret on this. But no matter he's going to regret, he has actually bet. You know, one of the take home is that he coached Cameroon in 2017. He came with his own coaching philosophy and mentality, but he met a tradition in the Cameroon national side, which is power, combativeness, ebulliency, and all of that. So he added his own football techniques and philosophy into the Cameroonian side, and they went ahead to win Egypt in that final encounter in 2017, and they won the AFCON. He would have known that if you go by power and strength, the South African side, most of them are not this power. The powerful players you have in South African side are not even more than 3. But the Cameroonian, they are configured to be as powerful. Virtually all of them, even from the bench, they are powerful. Don't forget, in 2000 Nations Cup, they wore a jersey. Okay, 2002 Nations Cup, right? They wore armless. So yes, they wore armless, in which the whole world said they were eating pounded plantain and leaf soup. They were all having most of the DFE, the Jeremy G-Tap, all of them, Patrick Mboma. But when en route to World Cup, FIFA told them you can't wear such jersey to World Cup. So they now added a little bit of clothing to sleeve to that clothes. So Hugo Bruce would have known better than us. He would have known that these players are always combative and powerful. Hence, he would have applied another kind of game tactics. Maybe a kind of a rondo formation. You know, they said the Sundowns teams are the Brazilians. You would have played that kind of a Brazilian football. Don't touch me. You play, maybe you compress your midfield with 5 midfielders, play 3 defense line, and you play 2 attacks so that you can have the ball more. Because when you have the ball more, you detect the pace of the game. It will enable the Cameroonian to commit you, and you have more infringement, you score. At the end of the day, South Africa had the 5 yellow cards, and Cameroonian side had 2 yellow cards to let you know how the the South African side became frustrated and started being aggressive and started committing fouls. So, but more discipline. So, but it's a nice one. It's football. In knockout stages, one team must go. But it's a take home for someone like Hugo Bruce to know that when you know a team in Africa, especially here in Africa, and you've been in the soil for several years, and you know the power or the potential a particular team have. So when you are coaching in the opposing side, you should know the kind of formation or the players you should put on the field to marshal and give you the required results. It's a nice one for Cameroon, though.
Chima, Hugo Bruce haven't coached Cameroon in 2017. Do you think, or will you say is it because of the nostalgic feeling he has for the Cameroon Cameroonian team, and the one he has for South African team that affected him in the approach of that game? Because I know before the game, I saw him snapping with some of the Cameroonian fans because they were really talking to him, holding him, hailing him. So I think that would have been the nostalgic feelings. That nostalgic feeling would have affected him in his approach to the game.
Coming into the game, the nostalgic feelings you're talking about, before snapping with those fans, you have already released his game plan already, because game plans comes out 1 hour before every game. And before it comes out 1 hour, he has already think of it and make every plan. So that does not really change anything for me, because if you watch Hugo Bruce, I feel like tactically, Hugo Bruce did not get it right in this AFCON as a whole, not just this game, in this AFCON, because I have complained about their games, and even before when we did the pre-tournament analysis, I said it here that coming into this Nations Cup, Hugo Bruce is lacking something, and that one thing came to play. I said it that from the goalkeeping aspect to the defensive aspect to the midfield, they have at least good players that can compete with every other team in Africa. But up front, that is where they are lacking a point man. They are lacking somebody who can barely have chance. And that was exactly what the Cameroonians did. Kufani against Mozambique as well. If you see the goal this guy scored against Mozambique, that made Cameroon to win Mozambique after being down by 1-0. Cameroon came back to win that game 2-1. Kofani scored the winning goal from outside the team. That is what good attacking players can do for you. Now, coming to this tournament, Foster had 2 goals in 13 matches coming to this tournament with 1 assist for Burnley. And I'm not sure if he plays really regular for Burnley. Then Makopa too, not scoring that too much goal. So in the PSL as a whole, we've not had somebody who you can eat your hand on your chest and say, okay, this player
He's an
exceptional striker in the next 2-3, just like the way we have Mokwena as a midfielder, we have this slice of Obas, and we have like Mbokazi as a defender. We know that these guys have potential. They can compete with any team. At least all the matches I've watched, I've not seen any any attackers outplaying in Bukazi like consistently. Yes, defender could be outplayed at a certain time in a game, even the likes of Ramos and David Luiz. But you telling me that no, Bukazi is not good enough to come? No, you understand? Despite being your, but in terms of attacking play, I have not seen that player that can categorically say, okay, this player, if we are playing match now, this player, I'm very sure that this guy from half chance is going to score a goal. South Africa did not present that kind of attacker, and that really affected them. Now, tactically, why I said it affected them somehow was that even from the game against Angola, I complained on the board here. I saw how they marked and how they considered that goal against Angola. Now, I complain about Mudal, I complain about Modiba, some of them, but in this second game against Egypt, Hugo Bruce still got it wrong.
Yeah.
You conceding a goal and your opponent having red card. Immediately the second half wanted to start, your opponent, Egypt, changed. They remove Mamouche and bring in a defensive midfielder in that regard. You, that being the attacking player, you were still playing with your backline defender, still playing with the same formation. You could not even change. You were supposed to have even changed the formation. If Hugo Bruce had been more tactically inclined in that game against Egypt, he would have just immediately see that, okay, we are one man down and a goal down. What do? You bring out one defender or one player, you throw in another attack, okay, or Makopa is the next attacking option. Go and join Foster, or boss to them, or let us play, attack these people more. If Makopa did not see chance to score, Foster will see chance to score, or Moremi will see chance, or Apolis will see chance. But then you kept on playing with only Foster, and Foster is not a player that can match out defense. Physically, Foster is not there. Then technically, he might be there somewhere if he sees a chance, but it's not in this tournament as a whole. Foster have not really given me what I expected of him, because Foster supposed to be a fighter up front for Bafana, but most of the goals he has scored are just as a result of luck and a little bit of chance. So overall, Foster did not impress me in this AFCON as a whole. Look at how many minutes Makopa played. He got one goal. So if Makopa have started or have been playing, maybe Makopa too also would have gotten, because Makopa would have been fighting more. But yes, 2 goals and 2 assists for Foster. That was a very good start for a striker playing 4 games for South Africa. But if you watch the game overall, I was not really impressed with him. There, tactically, I feel like Hugo Bruce did not get it right, because again against Cameroon, it's not just the mistake he made. Even against Zimbabwe, they were lucky against Zimbabwe, because Zimbabwe would have beaten or would have drawn that match against South Africa. But then again, they escape it, because why? Tactically, you need to know, okay, you as a South African, but from Hugo Bruce, you know the strength of your team. You went ahead to play to the strength of you dance to the tune of Cameroon national team. Now they are highly motivated. Why? Because all the issues that have happened around there, those players that they selected now, Samuel Eto'o will tell them in the dressing room that, you know that I drop Abubakar for you. You know that I drop so player for you. You need to prove yourself. You need to prove me wrong. Prove those people wrong. I believe in you. That is why I brought you. So please, I'm standing over there. Don't let the media to blast me that you see you that I brought now. What did you play? So all those things will have happened. Yes, will have happened in the dressing room, knowing where that they are fucked up. There have been a lot of issues. So those motivation, those guys there, they know that already now. People are expecting them to fail. So definitely that is a very big motivation for them to pass. So Hugo Bruce know this team very, very well. Why not, as Mr. Abbas said, why not look for a team or a way to play your Ishibobo kind of play? You know you definitely possess the ball. Okay, look at the team. You played against a Cameroonian team. You had 5 yellow cards, and you were losing. As a team that was losing. I was expecting the Cameroonians to be the one collecting the card. You understand me? I was expecting Cameroon to be it, so because they'll be the one tackling you, drawing you down, blocking your balls, committing fouls so that you don't score. But you instead, you are the one committing the foul. So that means the Cameroonians play more technically, play more with it. They were more disciplined. They played more with intelligence. Baleba was in that midfield, controlling the whole game, committing the Bafana team. So they were just playing. Hugo Bruce should have called one of the players to the sideline and say, look at what is going on. Look at that. That is why you know a coach. A coach is not a coach when you start a game. A coach is a coach when the game is going on, and you can lead the game within a twinkle of an eye and know what next to do. You starting with 5-man defense, believing that, okay, this is how the game will go. But then, if it does not go well, how do you become a coach? Why you are a coach is you will see what the fans are not seeing. You will see what others are not seeing. Even if others are seeing it, then you will know know what to do. You look at your bench, you look at the field, what is going on there. So that is why you are a great coach, because in that within 2-3 minutes you should be able to think of what to do to change this thing with what you have at your disposal. Which you have these players there. So the sub that you make, or the even without making sub, there's a way you can re-strategize your player on the field of play without even bringing a player in when you were 2 goals down. If you don't want to bring in Makopa then in, why not ask 1 or 2 players, join them up front, don't come back again. Or you tell Mudau, if you cannot, okay, since I have 3 defenders, tell Mudau to push up front. Let Mudau be playing right wing permanently there. Let Ngezana play as a right back, so that you Mudau can be bringing in crosses for this. But maybe you still can, like yes, at least that would have added more attacking option. Then you can tell Hapolis, go and join them up front. Let Mbokazi, let Kabini play as attacking player there. You Mbokazi cover up as a left back. Now we are down 2 goals. Let us pump him more, but let us attack. Yet you kept on playing the same style of play, the same 5 midfielders, the same Mokona will collect the pass, play with Obas, turn back to Mbokazi. If you have to play up front, you play to Foster alone against those FT men, those men that looks like that looks like bandits that are ready to destroy those Cameroonian defenders. If you see their size, if you see their eyes, you know that these guys they are not happy. This is how they are being. They are used to this kind of football right from time. Even when they play against the Super Eagles, when they play against the Saints, that is how their football is. So how do you neutralize this kind of team? You play your style of play. You make them look for ball. You throw in more attacking players. You commit more foul. You understand now? Because now I believe that this is what he had in mind, playing Mofokem, because Mofokem with his small size and a young player was thinking that Mofokem will come in to, but they were playing Mofokem with their muscles, with their strength. So you will have tell Mofokem to commit them more inside the 18-yard box. If you have to throw Mofokem off front, tell him to go inside. Let find a way to play the ball to his feet. Let him take the ball inside the 18-yard box. Take them on. You have to play to your own strength. Let your opponent also adapt to your own strength. But no, Hugo Bruce was so scared. He was sitting back, waiting for those Cameroonians. And then those 2 chances they lost in the first half, they have killed them, and that was what let South Africa down in this AFCON. All the chances they have failed to score have been issues, and I've said it that if they try this against Cameroon, they are going to pay for it. So tactically, Hugo Bruce did not get these things right at all. The players that were thrown on the pitch, honestly, they played to their strength. They tried about the experience of the Cameroonians. Don't take anything away from the Cameroonian national team. Mbemo was fantastic. Baleba was, all of them. Baleba was my man of the match. He ran the show in that midfield. He single-handedly, whenever he gets the ball. If you watch the attacking play of this team, if you watch corner kicks, South Africa 6, but Cameroon 3, free kicks, Cameroon 14, South Africa 13. That's why South Africa were losing. You understand now? Attacks 98 attacks. South Africa Cameroon 61 attacks. Now you had 98 attacks. You only scored 1 goal. How many? Cameroon had 61 attacks. They scored two goals. Short block 2 for Cameroon. Short block 6 for South Africa. Which means Cameroon were defending. They were compact in that defense line. Shot on target. South Africa 4. Cameroon 4. So out of 4 shots on target, Cameroon scored 2. You out of 4 shots on target, you scored only 1 in the 9 minutes. So that did not tell well tactically about Hugo Bruce and about the South African attacking team.
Anyway, Hugo Bruce disappointed me. I never expected that from him. But then, I would say, Albert, in the course of that second goal, the second goal came as a result of a corner kick, right?
The Cameroonian goal.
The Cameroonian goal. It was a corner kick.
Yes, corner kick.
It was
not a direct.
It was a corner kick. Then the pass is someone that the guy pulled it.
Yeah.
Where was the marking of the South African defense?
You see, as at that time, the game was almost running to an end. It was less than 20 minutes. And I think the South African side lost consciousness of the fact that for as much as they are looking for goal, they have to as well defend very well. And don't forget, at that point, if you watch very well, CBC, that's the guy with a shined head, he was dropping back to the defense line to hold ball. Why Mbokazi was tilting down to the left side of the defense? That shows a little bit of parallel in the defense. They lost consciousness of that defense forward because all of them were looking for goals. Yeah. So when that corner kick was given a short one, if you watch very well, Kofani ran into the middle and he ran into the middle of the number 5 and number 6 because the space was too big, was too wide.
Yeah.
So when the ball came in, he has the height, he has the power, and he was spacey. He headed it in. So they lost consciousness of the defense line. That is why that goal came in. See, This is football. Even though you are losing a game 2-0, 20 minutes to go, 10 minutes to go, and you actually know that you need to equalize this goal to stay on the competition. You have to always understand that the best way to defense or the best way to attack at that point in time is to defend. So the more you are attacking conscious, you must be defensive conscious. Why? Because in the course of pushing your attack, you may lose the ball possession. The opposition team may have what it takes with speed and pace. That's what Mbumo have. Explosive pace, stamina. The guy is too powerful, Mbumo. And not only that, the guy knows how to bring lovely ball in. Don't allow Mbumo to hold the ball on his left foot because he will really target his man that they want to give the ball and launch the ball to his head or his foot. Mbumo has that quality. So that ball coming because of defensive lapses, you are attacking conscious and lost consciousness of the defense. That is why Kofani could come in the middle of the both of them and head the ball inside. But it's football. Football, you can't finish learning football till you retire from the game. Even when you go as a coach or administrator, you keep learning the game because football is a school of thought on its own. Are you getting it? So the game came in, and I believe after that game, going back to South Africa, they will have a time to be on solitude to think how they perform. Because after every game, sometimes footballers, you put the game on and you see where your mistakes coming from. The coach as well will see where the mistake coming from. So, but the entirety of that game is coming from the bench. The tactical approach, the formation that we used to play that game actually was the fault in the first place. Now, the midfield, when they were losing 1-0, before that second goal came in, when they were all rushing out, the midfield lost its concentration. CBC was dropping deep. Mbokazi was trying a way to lead attack. The guy has good qualities because I see about 2-3 balls that he tried to launch ball into the attack so that Foster can cause a damage. But the Cameroonian side, the defense is like a brick wall. They didn't allow him. But it's a good one, subject to learning. You know, when you fail today, you always have a reason to learn the next day. But I will not blame him, but I will just say the faults. You know, there's a difference between blaming somebody and say the fault. The tactical fault is from the coach, Hugo Bruce. Fielding, I frown at discountenance in fielding 4 new players in a knockout stage. I don't think it's tactically right in any way.
Anyway, we all are faulting Hugo Bruce.